Hello and welcome to the show. Apologies for the noise in the background because I'm not in the audio booth today. Now, today I want us to look at how to use feedback and qualification to close deals. Yes, I know there's some technical sounding stuff there, but don't worry, we're going to define that in a moment. But why do I want us to look at this today? It's because I had a previous interaction with someone who does graphic design. Now, this was something that happened I don't know, maybe 4 months ago. And for some reason, I just remembered it today and I figured, okay, there's some lessons that we can learn here. So let me just hop on the microphone real quick and sort this out. Now, I was talking to a graphic designer because I needed a banner for my LinkedIn, page. Now, the banner is, for those of you who have LinkedIn, YouTube, and I think, what's that one? The one that people have Pinterest, yes. So for Pinterest, YouTube, and LinkedIn, the banner is the part behind. It's just the huge rectangle that is behind the your profile picture. Yes, behind your profile picture. And it's one of those things that you can optimize, make it look nice and pretty, and you can use it strategically to help you convert more business or get people to do certain things when they come to your profile. Now, since I've been spending a lot of time on LinkedIn and I've gotten rid of all the other social media, I figured, time has come. It's time for me to, touch up my my LinkedIn page, everything look all nice and make everything look correct. Because if you go check my LinkedIn handle right now, to be frank, you're going to see my profile picture there. Okay, I have to change it because that one is old. That's one where I had just shaved my mustache. And I've grown it back, so I need to change it. Then for the LinkedIn banner, that part was just open, nothing there. So what I did is I just took the logo of this podcast and then I put it there. But either way, it's not something that I've been doing consciously. So this guy reached out to me. I wanted to do some design work, and I was like, oh, okay, I need a LinkedIn banner to be designed. So that's how we started off the conversation. Sorry, hold on. Oh, let me see. Where are my notes? I made some notes. So I just don't forget how this thing went. Well, so anyway, so we started discussing now, and summary: the whole thing just turned out to be unproductive because we had a small quarrel at the end of the day. In fact, some people might even say a big quarrel because even though it was a small issue, the thing was he didn't quite understand what I wanted to do with the LinkedIn banner, and he didn't even understand what a LinkedIn banner was because he provided some designs, and the designs were wonderful, more than adequate, but he just designed what I did not ask him to design. So even though it was a wonderful design, it was not fit for purpose. It was of no use to me. And it definitely was not what I wanted. And so that's how it turned out to be an unproductive engagement. Now, from that interaction, we're going to come up with some tips for service professionals to prevent this kind of miscommunication. Because there are some of you that actually are very good at your job, like this young man was very good at your job. But the reason why you didn't close the deal, or you quarrel with the customer, and there's fight, and there's this, and there's that, it's precisely because there was some miscommunication that went on there. And if you had the skills or the frameworks, the tool set to prevent that, then this could have turned out to be a productive engagement and you could have ended up closing the deal. So if you are a service professional listening to this podcast, please pay attention. So for those of you in legal services, baby lawyers, established lawyers, pay attention. For those of you in medical, pay attention. For those of you in financial, you're a wealth advisor, you're a money coach, or you're an accountant, pay attention. For those of you in engineering, pay attention. Architects, IT consultants, business consultants, creatives, hairdresser, makeup artist, photo and video people, even if you're an artisan, like you weld stuff, pay attention if you're a service professional. Because the ideas that we're going to discuss now are going to come in very, very helpful. Now, if you listen to yesterday's episode, the first thing we're going to talk about is, no surprise, we're going to talk about qualification and discovery. Now, remember, The main question we're trying to look at here is how to use feedback and qualification to close deals or to make your engagements much more productive every time you're having interactions with potential customers. So, qualification and discovery. If you listen to yesterday's episode, you already know what it is. But if you didn't listen, let me just give a brief definition. That is the stage of the interaction or the business relationship where you are asking questions and you're trying to discover who the person is, what the opportunity is, what the problem is, and how you can help. So you're asking open-ended questions because you're trying to figure out who is this guy, who is this girl, what's the problem that they're facing, what kind of outcome do they want, what kind of solution do they want, all those sorts of things. Now, the reason we should bother with qualification and discovery is because if you don't do this, then you're not going to have the proper understanding that you need to make a relevant proposal or to provide an effective solution. Can you see why I'm saying service professionals, you all need to pay attention? The medical doctor, if the medical doctor does not ask you, oh, young man, how are you? How old are you? Is your father alive? When did your father die? What brings you here today? How is your left leg? Do you have headache? What about your left waist? If he doesn't ask you all these questions, the medical doctor, he's not going to have all the information that he needs to achieve a proper understanding and to make an effective solution to say that, okay, look, based on all these things that I've asked you, just go and take Panadol, you'll be all right. Or based on all these things that I've asked you, come into the hospital on Tuesday morning, we need to cut off your left leg. So if the medical doctor doesn't ask, he will not get the proper understanding that he needs to make an effective solution. It's the same thing with the lawyer. If the lawyer does not listen, and if the lawyer does not ask all these questions about the person, the opportunity, the problem, when did the quarrel start, what are the stakes, how much have you lost, what were you hoping to gain, who said this first, who said that, what happened on March 1st, what happened on March 15th. If you don't ask all these questions, you're not going to get the proper understanding to make an effective solution. Now, for business purposes, if you, as the salesperson, does not ask all these questions around the person, the opportunity, and the problem, you're not going to be able to make an effective proposal, or rather a relevant proposal, because whatever proposal you make will be off point. So back to this thing that now happens to me with this guy when it came to designing LinkedIn banner. I was trying my best to offer up information, but to be honest, the guy did not ask me any question at all. His own was just simple, okay, what do you want me to design? Okay, I can design it, how much? That was the extent of his question. And for some of you, that is the extent of the questioning that you do. What do you want me to design? Okay, how much? Okay, sure, no problem. No, it's too low. Add this, add that. Okay, here's my account number. And then you enter into the business. You don't ask questions about the person or the problem, the opportunity, what they're trying to achieve. How did this problem happen in the first place? What is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? They don't even ask these sorts of questions. And then you now wonder at the end of the day why they quarrel. You will take that thing and you show it to other people. Other people will say, this design is correct now. Because like I said, the design was not bad. It's just that the design was of no use to me. My guy went to go and design the kind of thing that I didn't ask him for and that I can't use. Even though it was wonderful. It was spectacular. It's just that, okay, you've given me this thing. Where am I supposed to use it now? What I wanted was LinkedIn banner. What I was describing to you was LinkedIn banner. If you did not understand, you should have asked some questions. Or you should have done some research. So please, service professionals, it is not always you ask the person, what do you want? And then you tell them how much it is. Then they transfer. Then you go and do the thing. You need to ask questions. Because if you ask questions about the person, the opportunity, the problem, let's rewind. Let's say this guy was asking me questions. Okay, who are you? What do you do? Oh, you're a consultant. Okay, you also have a podcast as well. Okay, what other resources do you have? See, from asking that kind of question, he would now have gotten a sense of what kind of assets or what kind of information could have gone into the LinkedIn banner. Why are you even changing your LinkedIn banner self? You've been on LinkedIn for 10 years. You've never done anything before. Why are you trying to do this now? What are you trying to achieve? Okay, you're trying to achieve this. You're trying to achieve that. See, the thing is, as a professional who knows your work, when somebody is talking and you ask them these questions, it would be a lot of value for you to even say, oh, look, bros, I understand that you said you want LinkedIn banner. But to be honest, though, from what you are describing and from what you want to do, I actually think this and this and this is what you need to work on first to achieve your goal before you even start looking on LinkedIn banner. That's the kind of thing that will make somebody look at you in high esteem to say, oh, you know what, this graphic designer, this guy, he goes school. He knows his stuff. I hope you guys are going to see why I keep saying that having a sales process and following a framework is the easiest way to set yourself apart in Nigeria. Because at the level where we are now, people are freestyling. They don't have a process. And so it's commoditized. Everybody sounds the same. So the moment somebody comes and is asking intelligent questions and is able to make some relevant proposals, you will know, Shada, okay, yeah, this guy is a carpenter, but he's a carpenter above other carpenters. This person is a graphic designer, but he's a graphic designer above other graphic designers. This person is a social media manager, but he or she is a social media manager above other social media managers. This is how this thing makes you stand out. So you should have been asking the questions so that you get the proper understanding, so that the solution, the thing that you design, the thing that you present at the end of the day will be all right, will be on point. You'll be able to make an effective proposal. And these are the things that make it easier to close the deal. Because if you make a proposal and the proposal seems to speak to exactly what it is that I want, of course it will make me hungrier to even close the deal. And it's the same thing with your potential clients. So please, those of us who are service professionals, this is really, really important. You sell services, not that you sell product. Because if you sell human hair and the person comes and says they want to buy human hair from Mogadishu and it has to be 68 inches, Mogadishu is Mogadishu, 68 inches and 68 inches. So you can get away with not asking any more questions. Although I would still recommend that you ask questions, so that you know the person, you build some rapport, you guys vibe a little bit, because that's the kind of thing that will be able to get you to bring the person back to be able to come and buy human hair again. Because you know how this thing is, market goes up, market goes down, people meet different people. So today, yes, they buy from you, but tomorrow they think they have a sweeter deal elsewhere, and so they might buy from somebody else. But at least you sell human hair, you engage in these sorts of conversations, and somebody thinks of you as the human hair specialist. Next time, even if they're tempted to not buy from you, maybe because you're more expensive than other people, at the very least, they will call you and say, okay, let us hear what this person has to say about this particular hair, this particular wig, this particular this. So even those of you who sell products, you sell children's shoes, you sell human hair, you sell Binatone fan, you sell school bag, you sell dustbin, you sell desks, you sell yams, you sell whatever it is you sell, this thing will help you. But for those of us who are service professionals, it is a cardinal sin for you not to use this sort of process. Again, I repeat, lawyers, listen up, doctors, accountants, engineers, architects, IT professionals, consultants, creative people, makeup artists, hairdresser, photography, video, artisans, whether you're a carpenter, you're a welder, because you're still delivering a service. At the end of the day, these are the processes that we need to be following. Now, let me define the second term that I mentioned, because remember, I said we're going to use feedback and qualification to close deals. Now, the second term was feedback. Feedback. Okay, this is a term that is hard to define. So, for the purposes of this podcast, every time you hear me say feedback just means, did I hear you correctly? Or did I get the right information? So let me repeat. Every single time you hear me say feedback on this podcast, feedback means either or it means, did I hear you correctly? Or did I get the right information? The reason why we have to do that step, did I hear you correctly? Sorry, what did you say again? Sorry, did I understand you correctly? Okay, did I get the right information? Sorry, I thought what you were saying was, oh, forgive me, I misunderstood you. Did you actually mean? The reason why we should be doing all of this is because this is what will allow us to take that next step and now say, oh, okay, bros, if what I heard you say was this, and I heard you correctly, therefore, this is what I am proposing to solve this problem. Therefore, this is what I am proposing for you to achieve this. Therefore, this is what I'm proposing for you to achieve that. Let me repeat. Feedback just means, did I hear you correctly? Did I get the right information? Sorry, can you come again? Sorry, I don't think I heard you correctly. I thought you said this. Is that what you meant? Because if you ask all these kinds of questions and the person says, oh, yes, this is what I said, you can now confidently make your proposal, and your proposal or your presentation will be on point. So if this guy, the graphic designer, had said, oh, bro, based on what you're saying, it sounds like you're saying this. If he had said that, I would now have said, no, I didn't say that. This is not what I have in mind. This is actually what I have in mind. The guy would have now, you can see how it would have prevented quarrel, because he would have repeated what he thought I said, and I would have now said, no, this is not what I have in mind, this is actually what I mean. And then we'll have the conversation back and forth. You can even see why this step is even much more important than the pricing thing. Because you can be pricing one thing, but because you understood rubbish, you collect the money and you deliver, and then there's total quarrel. So this feedback stage is really, really important. Feedback before you make the proposal. So, bro, is this what I heard you say? Madam, is this exactly what you had in mind? Ogbuefi, based on what you have said, if I'm understanding correctly, what you're trying to achieve is this. You're seeking for feedback, and you hear what the person has to say. Now, no matter the answer that the person gives, the answer is a good answer. If the person says, oh, yes, you understood me correctly, you're on point. So what do you have for me? That's a good answer. If the person says, no, that is not what I had in mind, that is also a good answer. Because it is better that you find out now than for you to negotiate. You now collect money, you deliver what the person thinks is rubbish, even though you did a good job. And then at the end of the day, you're having to do a second attempt, and now you're losing money. So it doesn't matter what answer the person gives at the feedback stage. Any answer they give is a good answer. If they say yes, all well and good, go ahead. If they say no, then you ask more questions and try and get some more feedback. Oh, sorry, Ogbuefi. Sorry, it's my fault. I didn't quite understand well. Sorry, I beg. Wait, just wait, repeat it again. That time that you said this, did you mean this? And then the conversation starts again. And you're trying to figure out who is Ogbuefi? What's the problem? What is Ogbuefi trying to achieve? If you're doing something that is technical, what are the... You now start asking specific questions about the technical parameters and stuff like that. So that's what this guy should have done. I tried my best to volunteer all the information that I thought I needed. But the thing is, I am an ordinary person. I am not a graphic artist. How am I supposed to know all the information that is required? This is the reason why we should be asking questions, because you are the specialist. You're the one who knows what is required. If the medical doctor just sits down, based on what I say, he now prescribes a treatment, of course we'll end up doing something that is totally messed up, something that is wrong. The medical doctor is the specialist. That is the reason why the medical doctor is going to ask questions. An example I've given on the podcast, when I was a younger man, I had one problem. My leg was doing me one kind, and it was getting real bad. So I went to the hospital to go and see the doctor. So from talking to the doctor now, the doctor was now asking me questions about my armpit. And I'm wondering, from where to where? I said the problem is with my leg. He's now asking me a question about my armpit. And I say, yes, I do have this boil in my armpit. But it's a small something, back in those days. Anyway, God is wonderful. He's the one that saves children. So back in those days, what we used to do was, I think it's something called, is it like Ampiclox or something? This thing comes in a capsule. So if you had a boil somewhere on your body, I don't even know who taught us this rubbish. We'll go and buy the Ampiclox, the capsule. We'll now cut the thing inside too. The powder that is inside, you now go and pour it inside your wound. So that's what we used to do back then in secondary school. In fact, who used to bring the Ampiclox stuff? I don't even know. I don't even know if it's Ampiclox. But anyway, if people are still doing that kind of rubbish in this day and age, please stop it right now. You don't know what you're pouring inside your body, and you don't know. Anyway, please, no self-medication. Always go and see a doctor. So I told the guy what I was doing now. No, it's a small something now. I took Panadol, I opened Ampiclox, I poured it inside my armpit. And then the doctor said, oh, that's the problem. That there's a something medial nerve that translates to bilateral something. The problem is not with your leg. The problem is with your armpit. So, whatever it is you're pouring inside your armpit, stop it. take these antibiotics instead. We'll take 2 of these injections, blah, blah, blah. Come back and check me in 3 days. And I came back and my leg was fine. As a layman who knows nothing about medicine, I thought the problem was my leg. I didn't know that the problem was my armpit on the opposite side of my body that was causing problems with my leg. So, you're the professional. You're the one who knows the questions that you need to ask, which is why, as service professionals, you should be asking the questions. If you're a graphic artist, don't assume that the person knows the right information to offer to get the job done. Do your thing. Ask the questions. So, this is the reason why qualification is important. This is the reason why feedback is important. After you get through the feedback stage of, did I hear you correctly? Did I get this information right? Okay, based on what you said, I'm assuming that what you're saying is this. After you get past that, and you get to the now stage of, okay, if everything I heard is correct, this is what I'm proposing. You now ask for feedback again. Are you cool with that? Are you good with that? Is this something you can afford? Do you think this is going to be able to give you the results that you're talking about? How soon are you ready to move forward? What else? You seek feedback again. And remember, whatever answer the person gives is a good answer. If the person says yes, it's a good answer. Next thing is you now send the person your OPay account. Let them transfer to your account. If the person says, I'm not quite sure, it is good that the person has said that now. You now know that you either didn't understand the situation correctly and it didn't make you to have an effective proposal. So you now know that you need to start the process all over again of asking questions, trying to figure out what's going on, make the adequate proposal. Or maybe you guys have a mismatch around money. But either way, you now know that, okay, there's a problem that needs to be resolved. So these are the ways that we can use qualification and feedback to close more deals. Because our proposal will be on point. The client will feel listened to, and they will feel that they have a competent professional working with them. Most importantly, I don't know about you guys, but it really used to piss me off when I collect money, I deliver, and then we now start quarreling. I hate that kind of thing. Back in my event days, I like the one that I collect good money, I deliver the job, they look at it and they're like, oh, this is fantastic, this is wonderful, oh, you're the best, blah, 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 blah. That's the one that I like the most. I really, really hated we finished and then they quarrel. In fact, one situation, I had delivered the album, there was quarrel. When I had to take the album back to the shop for the guys to take apart the album because there was one problematic page and then rehook up the whole thing. Anyway, that's a story for another day, since we're already at 20 minutes. So let me just bring it to a close here. So this is how we use feedback. This is how we use qualification to close more deals, to make sure that our customers are happy, and to make sure that after we deliver, there is no quarrel. This thing is for everybody, even for people who sell human hair or baby diapers or children's shoes, or even if you sell cars or washing machine. But it is most important for those of you who sell services. If you're an accountant, please go through this process so you know what it is your client is trying to achieve. If you're a wealth manager, go through this process so you know what your client is trying to achieve before you recommend something that, even though it yields growth in their portfolio, but it didn't yield the growth in the part of the portfolio that matters most to them. Same thing if you're an engineer, or you're an architect, or you're a hairdresser. In fact, if you're a hairdresser, you need to ask these questions. If you're going to do shade, before, I don't know if it's called shade. I think shade is the one where something will come and cover the person's eye. You need to know which part of the person's face they think is their best side, whether left or right, before you do the shade, and the shade will cover the right, but the person thinks that the finest side of their face is the opposite side. Okay, 30 minutes. Let me bring it to a close. So thank you guys very much for your time and attention. If you'd love to connect with me for a strategy session or a business audit, or you have questions you want me to answer, the phone number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234. That's my WhatsApp number. Then connect with me on LinkedIn. The name to look for is Tavishima Ayede. I have a YouTube channel of the same name as well. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.